Good evening. We are going to go ahead and get started. This is the first of a few budget meetings that the Kane County Board of Education will be having for this year. Chairman Mullins was unable to be with us tonight for certain reasons, and so I'm going to be the one leading tonight's meeting. Thank you all for being here. We have a lot of people in our room tonight, from people in the public to school personnel, and of course all of us board members besides Mr. Mullins. So thanks for everybody being here tonight. The main gist of tonight's meeting is going to be hearing from the finance department as to how we are going to go about having the budget organized this year, and hearing from them as far as that process. And I think they may have a couple of questions for us as a board to kind of think through and begin talking about tonight. But before we do that, we had a group of personnel from the school system asked a while ago to be recognized. And I believe they were told that a budget meeting would be the best arena for that. And that would be our assistant principals, of which we are very thankful for. And so at this time, to begin our meeting tonight, we are going to hear from those assistant principals first. And so I'm going to give the floor. I'm not for sure who that's going to be, but they're behind me. So I'm going to go ahead and let them.
It's going to start with me, and then I have Shane for backup if need be. Most of you I know, I'm Tammy Smith. I'm the assistant principal at Canyon County Middle School. I have Crystal Hill. She's the assistant principal at Canyon Elementary. I have Britton Huddleston. She is the assistant principal at Canyon County North. And I have Maria Vickers. She is the assistant principal at Canyon County South. And then I have Shane Hollingsworth and Olivia Garrett. They're the assistant principals at Canyon County High School. What Mr. Shane is passing out to you is a packet that we have come together. We've met a couple times just talking about what we're seeking is possibility of an increased stipend for our assistant principals. Currently, our stipend is $1,100 for what we do. I'm going to put it this way. When you go and you look at what we have, Shane has worked very hard. He's great with the numbers. So he's giving you some comparisons to look at. When you compare us to elementary APs in the Upper Cumberland, they make 8% more than us. Some of them advance the teacher salary 12% more. If you look at middle school assistant principals, they make 5.3% more than Canyon County. So we are some of the lowest paid in our district. High school, you can see that. If you go over to our neighboring counties, Murfreesboro City, APs make 22% more in teacher pay. Am I saying that right, Shane?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. APs there make 31% in Rutherford County more than teacher pay. You can continue to read. Now, if you look at Canyon County, we only make 12% more of what teacher pay is. And I will tell you, just between what you're looking at 128 years of educational experience in Canyon County. These are the people who are here, not for the pay. We're here for these kids. These are our kids. I think if you will turn to your back page, you will see as far as our dedication and loyalty to Canyon County. With our youngest person being Mr. Shane, who has 15 years in. I'm the next to youngest, I like to say, with 31. I'm on my 32nd year. And the reason, yes, we could have gone to Murfreesboro. Yes, we could have gone to Warren County, all those places. But this is our community and our kids. And we would just like to have that recognition that we so deserve. One of the things, and I asked Shane for this today, because when you go and you look at this, and I know we truly don't feel this way, but when you look at it on paper, it is almost kind of like a slap in the face. Sometimes you think our county appreciates athletics more than they do education. Because if you go and you look at the stipends that are given to coaches, versus what's given to your APs. We're not asking for much. I believe the total that we are asking for, let me go back and let me explain to you. I believe an instance today, one of your APs was at school. I know this one was at school to 4:30, catching up on everything that needed to be done. Mind you, I've been absent. One AP was at her school today to about 3:30, 3:45, getting screamed at by a parent. Those are the things that we do. We're building testing coordinators. So that is another huge hat. I'm going to throw out there, they get a stipend too because of what we have to go through. We are instructional coaches in elementary. We handle all 504s. We attend most IEP meetings. We handle all the Title IX. We work on school improvement plan. We handle the attendance, ball games. I know for myself, I schedule the gym for the middle school because we're 2 schools in one building. And so we have to have a coordinator for that. We do a lot of communication. I talked to 4 parents just alone today before noon. We do observations with our principals. We do walkthroughs. We attend PLCs. We deal with a lot of data. Bus duty, curriculum and programs, scheduling. We help with that. Discipline, our favorite thing that we do. Most of us, I know this morning, a certain AP was calling our building, hey, do you know of any more subs? They were 6 people short today. And they had used all their trying to find someone else to come into their building. We cover classes. We monitor the cafeteria. You know what? There's times I've mopped several floors. I've cleaned up vomit whenever our custodians were not available. We do those things too. We deal with maintenance. We deal with technology. I know Michael Mefford gets so excited when Tammy Smith calls. And we do with lots of meetings and trainings. We choose to do those things, but it would be nice to be recognized and be compensated for what we do. Like I said, we're some of your most loyal people. We're not here for the glory. We're here because these are our kids and we want to educate our kids. And I know most of us have attended school in Kenton County from the time they were in kindergarten up. There are only 2 of us. Lydia left her junior year and I came my sophomore year, so we've balanced out. That's what I say. But we just want you to look at, so with what Shane has come up with, we have asked to be considered for a $3,000 stipend. Yes, that is an increase. We understand that. We feel we're very well worth it for all that we do. One of the AP formulas that he has come up with is to increase the stipend to $3,000. It is currently $1,100. And you divide that out, 1,100 by, technically, we all have to work 11 months. Some of us work a little bit more than 11 months. If in elementary, you would increase the stipend to $3,000 and they would get paid for 11 months. Middle school, which is who I am, you would increase the stipend to $3,000 and I would get an extra half month pay. I already work 11 months, but we all know that's not enough. I'm usually there at least 11 and a half, if not 12. High school, we're asking to increase their stipend to $3,000 and add an extra month pay. So they would get paid 12 months. So it would be 11 and a half, and 12 months. Your difference would be $27,854. That's what we're asking for. That's for all of us. It's only not even $28,000. So, questions? Is there anything you want to add? You really dug in. I just got nominated because I was the eldest. That's what I said.
Just to clarify what you have in front of you, this is not, the data that I pulled is from 5 districts who have their data readily available. I can go on their website, I can pull teacher pay plus their AP pay. So I was trying to compare it to what we had. I compared those to an average teacher who has worked for 10 years. So that's how you get those percentages over the teachers. And I did the same thing across the board just to make sure it was even, and we we're doing our best to make a fair comparison. I also want to point out that I know some of those numbers, like if I'm looking at Upper Elementary or Upper Cumberland Elementary, like, oh, that looks pretty comparable. That's 1%. That's not a huge thing. A lot of those districts are actually only having those elementary APs work 10 months. So they're not working the extended contract that our elementary APs are currently working. So they're working an extra month for essentially the same pay is what ours are currently doing. Everything else, the differences between the levels helps to match up with Upper Cumberland. It also accounts for mainly the extracurricular stuff you have that goes on after the school hours. A lot of the events, you know, when you start increasing with sports and clubs and everything, you get more events that we are then attending after school hours. And I do just want to point out, we've had this discussion. We have all kind of come together and put our heads together and agreed on a lot of this. Please know we're not taking anything away from anyone else. When we're comparing stuff, I'm not trying to take anyone else's money. I want everyone to get what they have earned. I don't have any problem with coaches. I don't have any problem with principals or anything, but our district has done a very good job of trying to increase the teacher base pay. We've been working to try to increase our pay for our certified staff and everything else. But over time, that's almost kind of devalued our position where we're essentially just paid more like teachers than the administrators and the leaders that y'all are supposed to be. So in putting this together, we just felt like this takes us from on these comps with our peers. It takes us from being about the last to upper middle. It doesn't put us over the top or anything, but it makes it a lot more competitive and a lot more enticing to be here and put in that commitment.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to kind of talk about, I look at the duties that you guys have. Do you know, like looking across the upper counties, I know in a couple of the neighboring counties that you listed, I know what is done, but as far as the Upper Cumberland, like, do those schools have 504 coordinators, IEP case managers? You know that?
I do not. I think that varies just by district to district.
I would say some of them do.
I would absolutely, yes.
That would be my sense.
I can't say 100% that I know all of them, but yes, I know some schools and districts do dedicate those out. Absolutely. And we just currently do not.
Miss Aletha, I can speak to what they had in DeKalb, and there was not a dedicated 504 or IEP person at each of the schools at that point in time. It was duties that were assigned to the administration or the principals or the APs were the ones
It's
that
divided out.
yes, it's divided. So it just happened to be whoever might could go, but we tried to have it be a consistent person with the assistant principal attending that with principals, filling in if what the AP was busy and couldn't attend, that they were doing something. But in speaking to what they have listed, I mean it's a lot of duties for an assistant principal to do, and to be comparable with the other districts. It's, in my opinion, it's something that needs to be looked at, because there's a lot of things that they do on a day in and day out basis that deserves to be recognized monetarily, I think, for that.
Absolutely. I think looking at these, my point was, there are some schools that dedicate this to APs or principals, in some cases school counselors, but like in many other districts, a lot of these things they've listed, like an instructional coach, a 504 coordinator, an IEP case manager, somebody that's over Title IX, a testing coordinator. Some of those are sole positions. Okay. And I just wanted to make that point. And on some there's not, but in a lot of cases, these are sole positions. And as somebody in education, this gives me anxiety. For you guys looking at the list, okay? So, thank you for bringing that to us and looking at all these. It's very thorough, and it's.
I'm gonna be free work recipe. Like I said, he's really worked on the data, and we've met and we've talked about it. And I think lots of times we take for granted what we do because we just do what needs to be done. We are all blessed. We work with great principals and we help them any way we can. I've been very blessed this year. We tag team a lot and tag team as far as, he'll do this grade of IEPs and I'll do this grade of IEPs. But, any given day, I had last Wednesday, I had 4 IEP meetings and I attended 2 504 meetings. And that's just in one day. That's not counting everything else. And one of the, when you attend that IEP meeting, you're not just in there to be the LEA and to sign off on it. We take notes. Dr. Jan has done great. She's given us a note for, I keep it. It's on my computer. Pull that up. And so my job is I'm the note taker. And then I send that to the education, the SPED teacher. She adds anything that needs to be added and then it's uploaded. So it's, a legal document that it's there, that this was done and we took, we assigned that and we took care of it. So like I said, we love what we do. We just want to say, hey, you know what? We appreciate all that you're doing. Because it is a lot.
Do they not have any more questions for you? No. Thank you guys for again. I appreciate it. And thank you. We need to keep this on our minds as we continue forward with the budget. Having that, I'm going to turn the floor over to Miss Diane and Miss Andrew, so you guys can tell us a little bit about what we need to kind of be mindful of and how things are organized this year as far as how the budget is set up, please.
Well, we, since this is kind of our first year to do the schools, we had an idea of just kind of doing it the way we do the counties. And the way we do the county budget is in December, I send an email out to all the department heads and I ask them to submit a budget to me by the end of January. And then they send me their budgets. I put it all together on a spreadsheet. And then we take it before the budget committee. And some of those departments will come and present it. So what I did is I prepared you guys the same budget. The same budget that I do for the county. And I'll explain that. And if you guys don't like it this way, we can change it. It's just, we'll figure it out as we go along. But this is just, this is how the budget committee asked me to do this several years ago. So I do it in this like 7 columns. Because the first column, it shows you the actuals for last budget year. That's your actual revenue and the actual expenditures. So you can kind of compare to what was receipted in or what was spent that year. Then I also put the original budget that was passed, what was amended, and then the total of those 2 columns. And then the estimated column, I try to go through, and I'm not as familiar with everything in the school's budget, so I will tweak this as we go along, but just try to estimate the revenue for the year. And there's going to be some grants that I don't have in there yet. Also, I try to estimate the expenditures. And I'm, much more familiar with the county's budget, but I did go through and try to just estimate that. And I just kind of base it on what's already been spent. Sometimes I'll just take an average, like payroll, just take an average of how many months we've already spent and kind of go from there. So it's an estimate, but if you'll look at the very last page on page 13, at the very bottom of that estimated column, it looks like if my estimates are right, and they're, like I said, they may not be exactly, you'll increase your fund balance by $462,000. And that may even be more than that because, like I said, I don't think I have all the grant money in there. And then for the 26-27 budget, I put the exact same budget as this year's in there because then y'all can just change that as you go through. You can work, because I don't know what to put in there just yet. But y'all can just go through there and make your changes. So do you think this will be helpful to?
We just wanted to kind of give you an idea of something to look at to kind of compare.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's very informative. Thanks.
Here's just another spreadsheet that we did just to show the revenue and expenditures for the well, revenue for 3 years, expenditures for last year and this year. It's just for informational purposes, but this first one shows you your actual revenue for FY24, FY25, and then what was budgeted for 25-26, but what we actually at the bottom is what I've estimated that you'll receive. So the reason it's always lower is so you don't increase your MOE, but you know you're going to get that money. And then the second sheet is just the last year's approved budget versus this year's approved budget for expenditures. And like I said, that's just informational, so.
At the next meeting, we'll have more information because we do have a meeting with the supervisors. They're going to bring their budgets that we handed out to them about 2 weeks ago, kind of how they would like to see their, budgets budgeted for this next year, and kind of compile all that together and get you more information to kind of have a plan for next year's budget as well.
Miss Julie, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I don't know if anything like that has ever happened. And I think that is a wonderful idea. If you can kind of explain to us what's going on with that, so everybody knows.
So, as they said, they gave each of the supervisors their section of the budget. And in it has the same information. And then it has a column for if there needs to be additional funds added to that. And then there's an area for justification as to why we need to have funds added to that area. And so that's going to give us a big picture of looking at a whole budget and seeing where the needs are and how we may have to realign some money, move money from different line items that previously may have not been used. I've asked for a budget for the past couple years so I can look and see, has this money been in this particular line item for 2-3 years and it not been touched? Okay. Can that be moved to another line item where it is needed? For example, if there's something software-wise that technology knows is going to have to come out or is coming down the road, okay, we've got to add some additional funds to that line item. Where can that come from? And so in doing this process, we as supervisors and as myself, we were excited about it. It's like, okay, we can actually look and see, here's where we are. This is what's been spent previously. What do we need to add or move funds from? Then as we get into our April meeting, we should be able to give to you all a proposed budget with all of the areas where there's been money either added or moved from, with some justifications for you all to be able to go down through and ask for clarifying questions about each of those different areas. Trying to streamline the process to make it easier and transparent as to what's needed and what's not needed in each of the different areas. We know, for example, for curriculum, we're going to have to add money to that line item because we've got a gap year or 2 years because of our adoption series. And so we thought our cycle runs on so many years. Well, they've extended that for 2 years. So we're going to have to cover the cost of getting curriculum pieces for the next 2 years. So we know that's an area we're going to have to add some funds to. And that will be in there for you all to see as well. That's just an example of something that you'll be seeing in that budget. Does that make sense? And that way, like I said, in April, okay, here you go, and here's where we are, and here's the justification for each of the areas. Trying to streamline it and make it a little easier to understand moving forward. So, and I like the process. I like the templates that Ms. Diane and Ms. Andrea have given to us to help us sit down as a central office staff with supervisors to have discussions as to the needs and get information. And I've asked the principals to give me information as to needs that they have that we can look at, in the budget as well. We do have, in February, I will let you know, we have CCA is not February, sorry. We're in February, March. Wow. Going to come because this is a negotiation year for us with our local education association. And so that happens every 3 years, and this is the year for that. 3 years, 4 years, 3 years. And so this is the year for those negotiations. So they'll be coming in March to speak and share about the negotiations and what we'll be asking for as well. And Mr. Haley will be coming to speak about the coaching supplements at the March meeting.
We know this is all new and, we can tweak it as we go. We're trying to start, this to try to make it easier for y'all, for the supervisors, because we want Camden County to be the best. So.
I would love to hear from the other ladies around the table, but I think this is my sixth go with this. I think my fifth or sixth. And I really like the change. Like it's to me, it's easier to see, and there's a lot of information just right here all together that we can compare and see without having. I felt like I had, yes, thank you, Rebecca. Like this whole table stuff. My kitchen table would look really funny this time of year with all this, and then bring it into meetings. But it's all, I think, use the word streamlined. Like I just feel like it's all right here, and the 5 board members, it is our budget, and we have to make the decisions. But we're not the people that are making a lot of this money run around and do the things that needed to happen for our children. The supervisors and the principals and the teachers are doing that. And so they need to be heard from. So thank you for doing that with them. So I like it. You ladies have anything to say? At all?
No, I appreciate this. I do like this.
If you have any questions, though, you can get with us, email, call.
Email or call us.
We're here.
Well, I have a question. That's my first one.
And I'm glad they're here.
So the information from the assistant principals, these figures are not in here. Will they be reflected in the March figures, or is this just something that we will keep on a tally and then work off of this?
That is something that can be reflected in that March, but when we meet in March, it's something that can be reflected.
If you
there.
want us to
If
put
you
it
would
in.
like that,
Yeah,
we
we
put it
can.
in there, it can be.
Okay.
Just so you all can see a big picture of
What it's going to look
what
like.
it would look like.
I'm all
And
for that. If
Mine as well.
And because I think it's important that we all see the big picture as to what would be.
As you go along, maybe to see how much.
Right.
Yeah, we can.
When you know what you're working with, and
I would like for it to be reflected this way on rejected.
And something also to think about and for these ladies to work on for the next meeting as well. Looking at the support staff, I know that's been brought up before, is to increasing their salaries as well. So if there's what your all thoughts are as far as anything you want them to prepare to bring for the next meeting for the support staff and looking at their salary, as well as if doing something for the certified, what your thoughts are around that as well, so they can bring whatever you all would like to see for the next meeting for that salary wise.
What we're looking at pay scale from switching it from, because right now I think we still got 20. I think we want to go to up to 25. We've been talking about that in the past. Yeah, because we have several that are over 20. They're just, they're at the step on top. I mean, it would just be whatever we wanted to.
Right, yes.
But last year I think we switched to 20 or went up to 20 or before, and then it's one of those first.
We've increased it.
A few times.
Yeah,
Worked on it.
times over once. We'll get
Okay, sometimes-
5 percentages, but we work to get it on a pay scale.
Okay. Like
Up to 20
years.
Okay.
And then they cap out at 20.
So we have several that are over.
I think approximately
Yes.
50. There's around 50.
50.
that we have over 20 years.
That's another, think about, but that's another increase of what, 200?
200, that's less than it's salaries anyway.
On, the support staff, Miss Julie, did you and the supervisors or had anybody talked about that, about what they, like what was being thought about, or had they brought that to you about what they were thinking about? Like the APs have brought.
Right, no, they have not, and I just remember that was something in the past that you all had spoken to, that was an area that y'all would like to look at. So they have not, brought it to me or to any of the supervisors, and that's not been a conversation. My first thought was with you all to see if you all had any thoughts as to what you were thinking, because like I said, it had been mentioned in the past.
So the smart times, the principals or supervisors will come to y'all, so that's like, they need a new position, a new teacher,
Correct.
they'll have that in there.
Yes.
Okay.
And if it's not in that one in March, then in April, it will be. We're hoping to have everything. The supervisors, we all have to have everything to these ladies by March 6th, so they can get it together to have for the March 24th meeting, right? And then, but there still will be some tweaking and things before that April budget meeting.
You may have any strong thoughts about the support staff. Rebecca, did you want to go about it? Maybe, I think you really want to add something to go up to 25 years.
Well, I'm just saying, there's something, because I said it's a big increase, 205,000.
That's for the
Just
certified.
certified. Yeah, but then, teachers as well, and it was what, and that we're saying, we were looking at close to that for teachers. Because they're want to also possibly go up to 25 as well, because we're topped out at 20 for everybody, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
So it's another look at. Because we want to, like they said, let them know that we appreciate them.
Hey, and I'm going to say we have to stay competitive.
Well, Rutherford County just passed $5,000 a new teacher, and that's not that far. $4,000, I'm sorry, and that's not that far away. I mean, someone with 25 years experience could. We want to make sure everybody knows that what they do is appreciated. I mean, I've never sat through one of these, so I don't know what kind of budget I'm working with. So, I say 25 years, like Rebecca, or even could we look at the figures between 25 and 30, and just to know?
If we look, roughly, if moving from the 20 to the 25 years was 205 roughly, then it would be probably double. It would be double that. So 410,000 roughly to go beyond the 25 years.
That is included benefits.
And that's including benefits. And then looking, long term, it maintaining those steps down the road as well.
Did you say that did include benefits? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, that does include benefits.
Yes,
It does, yes.
Say that number again.
it would be
Roughly 205,000.
to go to the 25 years. And then to go
Went to
went to 30. It'd be
And this is first certified. Yes. That's been certified. This was certified. Just for certified.
support staff is, what starting salary is 10.40, 25? 10.25 an hour for our support staff. And other districts around us are much higher than that, at $12, $13, $14 an hour. And higher than that. And we're talking today about it was a percentage is what we figured was done to support that previously.
I believe so, yes. I believe it's been like 3%.
It's two.
What I can.
And we usually, during this time period at the meetings, we would request, hey, can we see it at 2, at 3, or different ones? I don't know if we ever went to 5 or whatever, but we would try to see it at different ones.
So that's something that they can get together for the next meeting as far as having, looking at 2, 3, and 5 for support staff. Is that?
I would
what
like to do that. I think we can do that.
Could we raise the cap years on that as well? If they cap out at 20 as well, is that right?
I would have to look. I don't want to tell you.
I'll
Yes,
look
we
at
know,
that again later. I'm
right?
not for sure how far it goes. I would
I would
think it would be
probably-
20.
I would think 20, but I don't.
Why don't we start with the percentage, if that's okay? Let's start with that percentage.
Okay.
If that's clear, are you, Jessica, Rebecca, y'all okay with that? Start, just starting there,
Yes.
and then,
So we're gonna do a 2, 3, and 5%
for the support staff,
for the support
so
staff.
see what that looks like. And then we're gonna we know that to reflect the 25 years, but know that it would be double that for the 30 for the certified staff. Okay. And in the next meeting, we also want reflected the information that was brought from the APs. Is everybody in agreement with that? Yes. Diane and Ms. Andrew, is there anything else that you need from us at this point? Are those the starting points to work on for our next meeting, or is there anything else that we need to do tonight?
I don't know because I don't.
Maybe the salaries.
The big salaries are, yeah. You just let us know
Good starting point.
what you want to do there. That's-
Right.
Okay.
For
That's
both
the big-
certified and the
Yeah.
separate, so.
And then like Ms. Julie said, next month we'll be hearing from Ms. Beth, I believe, with CCBOE and the negotiations there. I think the last time we did that, we heard from them when we were at the library at the high school. I'm pretty sure that's the last time. That was 3 years ago. And then also Coach Haley will be here in order to talk about the coaching supplements, which I'm real happy about. I don't think we ever looked at those in depth at budget meetings. We've kind of waited till the end of it. Because I think this is very beneficial that he's coming early on this early. So I think that's great. And then we will hear from you ladies again and look at what the numbers look like together. So that's March the 24th. Okay.
Here at 6:00.
Do you guys have any, do y'all have anything else?
I do. I'm sorry.
No, no, you're you want to have fun.
So one thing that was kind of asked of me, was all of our snow days that the only group that doesn't get snow days paid are custodians. And I didn't know if that was something that could be looked at.
Because they get paid differently.
Right.
So if we're off those days, they can work those days and get paid. That's how Ms. Shannon explained it to me,
Right.
is that, they will work those days and still get paid for them.
If they can.
But
But
it can be another day that they
Oh,
can
okay.
work to make that day up, to come in and clean, if that makes sense. And so if we're off on a Tuesday and they can't make it to school and they need to come in and help me make sure I'm saying this correctly, they can come in on that Saturday and work those hours, so they would get paid.
they have a set hours that they do
Right.
per year. So they can work those whenever.
Sure. I just didn't know, with it being we have 12 days of snow days, it just might seem to extend appreciation if they could get those as well. Get fit in the budget.
Go ahead, Ms. Jessie. I can say that.
So they, I don't know how to word this.
Theirs is a little weird because they're paid by
Because of
hours.
how
They get hours, like so many hours per year.
Do they only get a certain amount of hours per
Yes.
year?
Mhm.
So they get paid by the hour, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
And it caps at a certain.
certain amount of hours. Because they work all
Wow.
summer long.
Oh, they work so much.
Because they have to strip the floors and
Okay.
What if they work over?
Yeah.
Do they get overtime?
they
No, that's, yeah, no, that's not my understanding. They
Yeah.
can work within their range.
Wham.
And
Yeah.
so they can, I think, somewhat flexibility
Yeah.
if they choose to work a snow day and then they don't on another day. But it's, I think my understanding is they're giving a set number to work within.
Okay.
So is that per week or per year or per? I assume per year. but that's
is what I
not-
thought. I mean,
Because Jim and Roe was, because they had to save so many hours.
Hours to work in the summer.
They should get their stripping and all
All
that
that done.
stuff. They should have saved their hours.
That's interesting.
yeah,
Who come up with that?
I don't know. It's been that way forever.
That's what it's like.
It's very different.
It's,
Yeah, they had.
I mean, does it-
to their hours.
Does it work? I mean, does it?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
And I was just like,
I mean, I won't mess up a good thing, but I'm just saying, like.
It's a lot of hours. It's a substantial amount. It's not like, I mean, I couldn't live of it, but
So do they have to like, oh, I can't work for the next 5 Fridays because I've got to save up those hours so I can strip the floor in June?
I don't think so. I don't.
So a lot of times what happens too is they work smaller amounts of hours. So a lot of schools have 2 custodians. So one may come in from 6 to 2 or one other one pick up from 8 to 4. Just, and they have their job that they're getting done. So that's kind of, but I also see the other side of it as well. When they're saying they're working their hours, I get both sides of it.
Absolutely, but
Yeah,
it's weird.
because it's like I mean, does, I don't know, I have to think about this and come back to it.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's something I'm gonna think about. I'm gonna. Rebecca Trammell is also at notes, and she always has them. And so she was bringing what we talked about last year. Because I was under the understanding, I'll share that later because that's what Rebecca and Courtney and I were talking about. I was under the understanding, I thought that we had gotten everybody to where they were giving snow days. I
thought we did.
that was my first, when Courtney said that, I thought, wait just a minute.
Yeah.
And she showed her notes from last year that this wasn't, well, we discussed it, and that they are not giving overtime 230 days, right, Rebecca? So it's 240.
They wanted their contract to be extended to 240 days.
They requested last year. Okay. But we're saying it's still 230.
Was there, what they were
I'd have to look and see.
and get
Exactly.
5 days, they weren't getting days off either. They wanted time off at Christmas.
Because they wanted days off from there, yeah.
And so,
Can we do some checking into that?
Yeah, let me, because that's at least, I'm not sure of all of the
I have a
answers to that.
spreadsheet that me and Shannon do together every year
Okay.
for everyone. So I can check that and see what we have.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing it over.
another question.
Oh, that's I love it.
So at the workshop, the
Mhm.
football team came and talked about the field, and we talked about how we might need to have that amount in
The budget.
the budget.
Mhm.
Is that gonna be something that we need to have in there to look at?
That cannot be reflected until we vote on that. So we will have to vote on that, and then it can be reflected after the vote.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I do think that we can pay for that out of that adequate facilities tax money, because that is for capital expenditures. And that's a capital expenditure. So
Tagging on to that, is that something that is, from my understanding, is being questioned about the longevity of that? Is that right?
What I heard today was, from Miss Kristen, is that done. That we're good, that it's not gonna go anywhere until.
The facility.
The facility.
Will not go anywhere.
Correct.
That question.
I don't think that's gonna come back up again, so.
Right, that was information I just got today.
Okay, good. So it's still there to use.
It's still there to use.
And that would be something that we can.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, because capital expenditure is when you improve land, buildings, or equipment. And that's land.
Land.
So I looked it up because I wanted to make sure that I thought, well, they could pay for that out of that. So
Are there other things that are other schools potentially that we would need to look at?
We've used it, are you talking about that particular tax, Ms. Courtney?
Yes.
Okay. That's been used for HVAC
Okay.
in several of each of the schools.
that's all she's used it for.
That's all it's been
That's
used for, is for HVAC. And so that tax has been a great help to
Absolutely.
us.
Yes.
And we are so appreciative of that. But as far as needs for the other school, I would have to dig into that further and get with principals to see as far as needs go. You're welcome.
Wonderful questions. So leaving here tonight, I think we know the increases that we want to look at. That was 2%, 3%, and 5% for non-certified. The 25-year cap for certified positions. We want to get the information and more clarification on the custodians and how that is set up. We will be looking at after the next meeting agenda and vote. We'll have to look on if there's anything from that facilities tax, kind of like the football field. If we need to have that reflected, and then of course we have the CCEA next month, and Coach Haley to be here. Okay. Is there anything else tonight, please, from anybody? Anybody in the room have anything? I want to thank the assistant principals for coming tonight, being so detailed in the presentation. I appreciate it. I think Ms. Smith, you said 100 among the assistant principals, 128 years in Cumberland County Schools. Yes. I just want to applaud that. I think that's absolutely incredible. So, 31 to 15. 31. Pretty awesome. So, thank you all very much. If nobody has anything else, Miss Sheila, you got anything?
I don't, unless y'all have any questions for me.
All right. We hope Chairman Mullins will be back with us next time. So, thank you all very much for your